Hello, amazing artist. Mrs. Hales here with a new project for you. Today we're going to read a very sweet story that I love called Cold Snap by Eileen Spinelli. And then we're going to make a painting inspired by some winter birds from the book, in particular, a red cardinal. If you have another bird that you see out your window in the winter or that you see when you go for a walk, you're welcome to draw that bird. I'm going to show you how to do the cardinal. So you can certainly change your bird if you want. Let me read the story to you. I love it. I love the way the illustrator, her name is Marjorie Priceman. I love the way she makes the town look so lively and colorful. It looks like a fun place to be in the winter. Cold Snap by Eileen Spinelli, illustrated by Marjorie Priceman. It was snowy cold in Toby Mills. Ears tingled, cheeks were frosty pink, toes too numb to wiggle. An icicle dangled from the nose of the statue of General Toby, the town's founder. After school, Millie Moffett made snow angels. Her little brother Chip threw snowballs, splat, at the general's hat. Frankie Tornetta whooshed down T-Bone Hill right into Styx Hartman's snowman. Millie twirled Chip around and around until they both toppled into a snowbank. By nightfall, the kids of Toby Mill were dragging and wet and shivering. So they trooped home, boots crunching on snowy streets, ready for hot cocoa and flannel pajamas. On Saturday, the icicle on General Toby's nose reached down to the dimple on his chin. Ice-glazed alleyways, spoken words became puffballs in the frigid air. Page 1 of the Toby Mills paper said, "Cold Snap." The Sullivan sisters served steamy soup and bubbling stew at their diner. In between customers, they knitted mittens as big as flapjacks for all the kids in Toby Mills. Mrs. Moffett, the church soloist, gargled with salt water to avoid getting a sore throat. On Sunday, General Toby's icicle hung down past his chin. The Moffetts and the Sullivan sisters slogged through the slush to church. Miss Moffett sipped lemony tea from a thermos before her solo. Millie and Chip huddled close to Elijah, the church cat. Pastor Pickthorn, with teeth chattering, preached in earmuffs and an overcoat. The Sullivan sisters wore long johns under their dresses. Monday was even colder, and the general's icicle was growing. Frankie Tornetta pulled Mrs. Dove, the teacher, across the frozen parking lot on his sled. Styx Hartman, slipping and sliding, carried her books for her. The mayor's office fielded complaints about the weather. Street workers made fires in metal drums. Mr. Moffett got stuck on a city train for 2 hours after the doors of his train froze shut. He and the other passengers had to be rescued through windows by firefighters. Tuesday was colder still. General Toby's icicle touched down to the metal on his chest. Pastor Pickthorn's furnace had gone out during the night. When he stepped from his bed on Tuesday morning, his bare feet nearly froze to the floor. His dog Muggs begged for his fuzzy red coat, the one that he balked at wearing before. The Sullivan sisters knitted a sweater for Elijah. Millie Moffett tossed sunflower seeds to the birds who were braving through the winter. On Wednesday, the temperature plunged even lower, and so did General Toby's icicle. A bitter wind nipped at noses, tipped trash cans, flipped Chip off the creaky schoolyard swing. Frankie Tornetta stopped whining about his itchy woolen socks and put on 3 pair. The Toby Mills movie theater had a problem with its furnace. Tickets were now half price and bring your own blanket. There were more complaints to the mayor, who stayed overtime at City Hall. His wife brought him his toasty pink bunny slippers and his warm bathrobe, which he wore over his suit. Mrs. Moffett didn't have to coax Chip to take a warm bath. At bedtime, Millie Moffett tucked her cold feet into her flapjacky mittens. The movie theater was showing summer movies. By 8 a.m. on Thursday morning, the official thermometer outside City Hall fell to a number it had never met before: 0! If the people hadn't been so cold, they might have cheered. General Toby's icicle reached his belly button. Mr. Moffett danced a jig to keep warm until his train arrived. Mrs. Dove brought shells and a beach chair and a plastic seagull to class. "Pretend it's summer," she told her students. Pastor Pickthorn taped 2 hot water bottles onto his feet for his afternoon nap. Mrs. Moffat discovered a nest of mice in her oven. She didn't have the heart to chase them out into the cold, so she baked her husband's birthday cake down at the Sullivan Diner. By Friday, out-of-towners were calling Toby Mills the new North Pole. The tip of General Toby's fat icicle kissed the ground. "Something must be done," declared the mayor. "I have an idea," said the mayor's wife, and she did. All day long, the mayor's staff delivered flyers. Winter surprise on T-Bone Hill. "Winter surprise," groaned Miss Dove. "I was going to cuddle in bed with a book." "Winter surprise," snorted Mr. Moffat. "I have a surprise for the mayor. By 7 p.m., we're all going to be popsicles." Now, said Miss Moffat, "we should go." And so they went, the citizens of Toby Mills, up to T-Bone Hill. The sky was dark and clear. The moon was as silver as sleet. And look, there on the hilltop, a soaring, roaring bonfire. Sparks flew into the night like newborn stars. Most happily of all was something Toby Mills had missed for a week. Heat. Warm, old-fashioned, where have you been heat. The mayor ladled cups of hot cider from steaming pots. His staff served donuts. Stix Hartman played a lively tune on his kazoo. Miss Moffat sang. So did Muggs and Elijah. Mr. Moffat joined the Sullivan sisters in a dance. Pastor Pickthorn practiced Sunday sermon on the mayor's wife. Mrs. Dove demonstrated how to make sugar-on-snow candy. First, she sent Frankie Tornetta to a nearby snowbank with a big bowl and a spoon. Millie and Chip filled the bowl with clean snow. When they returned, Miss Dove drizzled hot maple syrup over the snow. It hardened into the best candy anyone at Toby Mills had ever tasted. Everyone had such a warm and cozy time, they forgot all about the cold snap. The next morning, when they woke up, the sun was bright and the snow was melting, and the icicle on General Toby's nose had shattered to his feet. The thermometer outside City Hall said 15 degrees Fahrenheit and was heating up. Here is Miss Dove's sugar-on-snow candy recipe. Real maple syrup and fresh, clean snow. The end. Maybe we will get some snow and you guys can make that delicious treat. You heat up some syrup in the microwave and then you take it outside and pour it on the snow and wait for the syrup to harden and it turns into candy. Today we're going to draw our Cardinals. You can draw with pencil like I'm gonna do and then go over your pencil lines with black crayon. And then next week, we are going to paint the background and paint the bird and paint the bird's feet and his beak. So today our goal is to get everything that's brown colored in and to get everything drawn. Let me show you how to get started. The supplies that you're going to need are a 9x12 piece of white drawing paper, a pencil, an eraser. You need brown crayon today. If you would like to draw these little evergreen branches, you could use a green crayon. I used green watercolor paint because I like the way it kind of blends in. But you really just need a black crayon and a brown crayon today, a pencil, paper, and an eraser. In the middle of my paper, a little bit closer to the top, I'm going to draw my cardinal's beak. And then I'm going to draw this pointy crown on top of his head that goes up and back to the left. And I'm going to put 3 or 4 points up there. And then I'm going to draw the back of his head. I'm going to draw underneath his beak. I'm going to draw a big round belly and chest. And then I'm going to draw connect the back of his head to his back. My bird's going to go off my paper, and that's okay. Sometimes when artists are drawing something up close, they don't put the whole image on the paper. I'm going to give him 2 little legs now, and then I'm going to draw a branch right under where his legs and feet are going to go. Whenever I draw a branch, I think of the letter Y, and then I add the bottom and the top of that branch or that Y to make it bigger or fatter or dimensional. Now I'm going to draw some more branches in the background. And again, there's my letter Y. If you want to add another branch going off the other direction, you can always do that later. This branch is behind the first branch I drew. There's his eye. If you want to draw the markings around his eye, you can. We're going to color that black. Now you're going to outline all of your pencil lines on your bird and your branches with your black crayon. I'm drawing his wings and giving him some more texture so it looks like he has feathers. I want to draw his little talons holding on to the branch. You don't have to do that if that's too difficult for you. Just draw his legs and pretend like his talons are on the other side of the branch. But if you'd like to try drawing them grasping the branch, I think that would be a good challenge. I'm going to show you a secret for how I make my branches look round. You want the bottom of the branch to be darker than the top of the branch, which has a highlight on it. So I'm going to take my crayon and draw a straight line on the bottom of my branch, pushing down really hard so it's darker brown. And then when I'm coloring in my branch, I want to color a bunch of slightly curved lines, kind of like C's right next to each other. That's going to enhance the form or the roundness of my branch and make it look like it's round. So it's lighter on the top of the branch and darker on the bottom of the branch. And when I color in, I'm going to color with a bunch of little curved lines right next to each other. And it doesn't matter if my branch is going sideways or up and down. I'm still going to color it in with those little curved lines. I think all you're going to have time to do is draw your bird, get everything outlined, and maybe get your branches colored in. You can see I went around the bird, the cardinal's eye, with a white space with a circle because I wanted to get that coloration or that black coloration around his eye. And I had to have a white circle to show off his eyeball, or else everything would have been black and you wouldn't have been able to see his eye.
Boys and girls, the elements of art you're using today are line and shape to draw your cardinal and your branches. And you're using space because you designed your composition in the way that you have your bird coming onto or going off the page. I will see you next class and we will add some more color to our birds.